Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, and starting with the S&P here, just on pretty much a daily chart. So basically we're looking at some sort of top being in place here because we've got 5 waves down. Now, as was pointed out to me yesterday by one of our members, the cash market doesn't have 5 waves down, which is interesting, but the futures market has that 5 waves down. So let me just go over to here. We can sort of clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the cash market has got 3 waves down, and the futures market and the SPY and the triple Q and that have got 5 waves down. So that would make it, because the A wave, normally when you've got, if I put a wave 1 up here, if I put a wave 1 up here, for example, then I would be looking for a pattern that would be 5 waves down, a zigzag pattern, and then an ABC pattern, and then another 5 waves down, and that would make a nice wave 2. So that's kind of the norm at that point. But because we've got 5 waves down here for this first leg here, now the cash market has got 3 waves down, only 3 waves down, and then an ABC pattern. So that would mean that it's unlikely that that would be a wave, any type of wave 1 up there. It would have to be, it would have to be basically some type of wave 3. Now, it could be a smaller wave 3 than this, because in wave 4s, out of the, dozen different types of corrections, they can pretty much all happen in wave 4s, the triangles and flats and so on. So it's likely that we are in a wave 4 at this particular point in time. Okay. So how big and ugly the wave 4 gets is something that we need to figure out, because wave 4s are tricky. They can just sort of double in size quite quickly, or they could be simple, they could be really complex, they could be sort of doubly complex and all these sort of things. So we kind of normally look to stocks and other markets as well. So we're also looking for the US dollar to top out, because that will sort of top out the stock market, and then you got your bonds and the yields that would be sort of in line and inverse with those as well. So yeah, at first glance, because we do have the 5 waves here, yesterday we were talking about looking for an A wave up here and then a B wave back. And so we've got that. It doesn't look very impulsive here at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And maybe we could view it in another way. Maybe we could look at it as 3 waves down here as well, and then an A and a B and a C up here, and then the B wave goes up here, and we go down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we go down that way. So that's kind of possible as well. One of the things is we've got NVIDIA's earnings coming out after market, so that could obviously make markets that's the same size as this one roughly and it comes in around our target area. So it could pop, or it could just sort of drop at that point. So or it might just pop up there and drop. That's what I'm sort of thinking. I'm thinking that be some sort of move up, and then we'll move down again. Such in 3 waves coming down here for this wave C here. Now, I could put this wave A here and this wave B here and this wave C here, and we're finished with it. But I always don't, until I know, I don't want to get people too excited for the wrong reasons, So I think that we need to look at this as an ABC pattern here. And this could also too be 5 waves down of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think that's the case, because we've got only got 3 waves in the cash market coming down. Do you know what I mean? So I think that we're in this particular pattern. So I don't think this will be a 3rd wave based on that. So I'm just going to remove that for a bit. But yeah, I also want to say, I'm doing my best with this correction, but you have to understand that wave 4s get very complicated and we can get it very wrong. So, you need to realize that there can be parts of the trend that we could capture, but like we're in a B wave here now, and I'm sort of saying that it all looks quite simple, but it may be sort of quite. It may get this B wave here may get really quite complicated, So just be very careful when you're in corrections like this. It's always good to trade less if you're a swing trader or a trend trader. So just be very careful. This is something that it's only in hindsight that makes it look easier. But we can capture it before hindsight is complete, is engaged as well. Because once a pattern matures, we'll get to somewhere along the line. We'll go, okay, that's it, because of this, this, and this, and this, and then now we can do this and this, But we're not at that stage yet. We're in the stage where we're scratching our noggins, and we're trying to muster up what grey cells we have left and try to make sense of it. But at least if we know we're going into confusion, into a wave 4, well, that's pretty good, isn't it? We basically know that, we're screwed pretty much, coming into this. So just be a little bit mindful of that. Okay. So after NVIDIA's earnings, then we'll see how the dust settles. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And this is the NASDAQ as well. So once again, we can look at this, push this for 5 waves down. I could look at this here as the A wave here and the B wave over here too. I could do that, I think we're on the 1,000 ticks here for this, so I'll just go in here. So we've got waves, say 3, 4, 5 here, then the A wave, the B wave here, and it's okay as an ABC here. It kind of, let me get it in the screen here. You've probably kind of seen this already, but the A, the B, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So it's quite fitting, but this definitely doesn't look impulsive to the upside, and especially once this here is breached. That makes it a bit more difficult at this point. It does make a nice ABC pattern here for further downside at this point, But like I said, I just think we'll wait for NVIDIA's earnings to come in, and because they could rock the market, and then we'll just wait to see what gets delivered at that point. And like I said, this B wave here may get more complicated. It might be over here, and then this ABC pattern here becomes, this becomes the A wave here, and this becomes the B wave here, and then we get a small C wave over here for this, and the B waves over here, and then we go up at that point, So it could be something like that. That's 1, 2, some sort of finishing off here and then go up. So there's a few things that can happen here. We're in this B wave up here, but we're also in this B wave here. And B waves are a bit like wave 4s. They can get rather complicated. They're not always simple. So we just need to be a little bit cautious on that. Okay, let's go and have a look at stocks. So not much change. So there's 2 sort of patterns in the market. One is that we've got wave 3 up here, and the other one is we've got this wave 1 up here. They're the two patterns that we're basically viewing in the market for these. So I've been looking at this, this move up here. I don't know if it's finished or not. I could put that in here. If NVIDIA's earnings are good or whatever, then we can get another move up here, and then we can get a move down. That would be sort of what we're thinking about with the market, but it doesn't really have to be like that either. But as I've said, in all of this here, we're not interested in trading any of this. We're trying to find this. Is it possible that this could be over here? Yes, but it'll be a little bit too early with the other markets, because the other markets we need also wave 2 to finish, and we also need wave 4s to finish as well. In the marketplace, like the S&P and the NASDAQ. So there's still more work to be done before we're sort of set up. I mean, if we can see a short trade set up, we'll look at it and we'll take it. But you don't want to be involved in this at this particular top area here. It's just not the done thing. So over to Amazon here now. If I was lining this up with what we're looking at with the NASDAQ and the S&P, I'll just put wave A over here and look at this as some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. But there is also a count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave here. So this might not go up a lot. It's either going to go up a little bit and then come down. We've got wave B here, or it's going to go sharp here and then come down. Either way, don't particularly want to get involved in it. It's quite clean on here. So if you're going to short this, because this length here should be roughly the same length over here once it's all said and done. So you kind of want a nice clean setup here. So if this is the level here, we're sitting on it nicely here. We're looking for a bounce. It needs to come through and go back for the retest. Now, once it goes back for the retest, you'll have the low exposed here, and you may even have a second one. But what happens a lot of the time, this is the simple version, and this is the more complex version. I know it's a bit more complex, but we still got the low here, we still got the second low, but what happens is it comes back up above the level and then it comes down again. So kind of ignore I don't ignore it, but this is important, because when you go short here, what will normally happen is that you'll have 5 waves down to this point here, and then just as soon as you get here, you'll have an ABC back up. So then you've got to look for the second high here, over here for that, and down. So you've got this low, you've got this low, but if it comes up here, then look for this little pattern in here, this entry and stop here, this little straight line in here. It won't be a straight line. It will be like this here. In fact, in here, this coming down here, and doing all of this here will be all of this little pattern in here will be exactly the same as this bigger pattern here, as this fractal pattern here. So it will be down, up, down, ABC back up, and then so you could refine it again and get another entry in over here further. So it's just a reoccurring pattern. So that's what you'd sort of be looking for. So if it does come down, it's going to go back and retest that there. So let's just go to 100 ticks. So this is where we are at the moment. So yesterday I had wave A here. I can see that, I could line it up with the S&P, which would be also make a lot of sense as well. We do have 5 waves up from this point, but we've also got 5 waves down here as well. Do you know what I mean? So don't exactly have a B. I could have a B wave here. There might be, this might be just a sort of a gap here and a bit hard to read or whatever, a bit messy. But yeah, the two things is really we'll go to here and go down, or we're going to go to here and we're going to go down at that point. So I don't know which one is going to be the right one at this stage. It's not sort of jumping out at me. So just be a little bit mindful. I mean, this bounce here was a bit higher than this one. I think that's sort of interesting. And getting this is the 61.8% here, which is on the top of group 1 here, the 203. So we may see Friday and Monday be bullish in this sense. It just depends on how quick this sort of happens. But you don't want to short it before a big number, because you just get these bounces. You know what I mean? It's not, you just don't do it. I don't like shorting unless I've got really good reason anywhere within group 1 here, 1, 2, and 3. I just don't do it because I know that can get really quite messy. All the moves are really quite smooth in this case, so it's not a great example, but generally speaking, these 1, 2, and 3 here will be sticky numbers and make things a bit complicated. But yeah, so that's where we are there in that picture, and then we come over to NVIDIA, which will have its sort of earnings, and we got this position here, so we may get stopped out after market in the drift coming down here, but I still want to protect this position. It looks like an ABC up here. I could put wave B up here. I could also look at this as 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and then up for the fifth wave here. So I could also put wave 1 up here now and put wave 2 over here. So just the normal sort of thing here, really. The annoying thing is we 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we'll end up coming down in the drift here. Yeah, and taking out our stop, and then cranking up here or something, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what to do with this here. I go for safety first. So I'd rather protect that position. I think one of the good things here, and the other thing is that, we may have this up here as one, and then the ABC pattern here for two, and then moving up at that point. So I think I'll just leave the stop under this low here at this point, and come what may, and, it is what it is, I guess, I mean, you just don't know what's going to come out of the gates at earning unless you're sort of really close to the company. And I just don't have time to read the news on these things. You probably have a better idea than me if you're, if you've got money in something. You want to know as much as you possibly can about something. Just because I use Elliott Wave, my motto is the more you know, the better you are. So if you can read between the lines in a balance sheet, well, great. I mean, if you've got another. If you've got some grip on the industry and the output and the competition and the management and this and that, then fantastic, So over to Facebook, and we've been looking at it as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. I can count it down as being completed. I'm still not really seeing a nice impulse wave here. Sure, I can get 5 waves out of this, and I could probably get 5 waves out of this, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. But it's not, it's not fantastic. But we should go up, and we should be going long on this. But just a little bit concerned about what I'm seeing in other markets like the NASDAQ with the 5 waves down. I don't know if this market will be able to hold up in that. I also don't like this little wave 4 here. I could put wave 4 over here somewhere on this. That would sort of make sense as well. So I'm just going to leave this as well. Just not right in. I can see that it wants to go up as a bit further. If I was forced to go long here, I would do it in group 2 here, so 65, 72 and 80. I'll want support on that 5, 6, 5 here, tested support at that point. And we'll probably get it the next session. But the other markets are going to be pushing up for a couple of, oops-a-daisy, wrong one. Going to be pushing up. If they do push up, then they'll probably push up they could do it in a session, could be just done in a session. I'm just not trading with the wind in our sails, you know what I mean? It's, if the rest of the market was going up, and I know the rest of the market's going up, but I can see the rest of the market's going up and then down again, that's the problem with this. And I don't know if this is going to hold up. I could get you into profit straight up, but I don't know if I can keep it there, on this down move here. So I'll leave it. But if you're a short-term day trader, then just buying new highs in any market's really going to get you there. This is Netflix here. Let me just have a look in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 overlap here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like this is some sort of A, B, and C wave coming down, but it may get a bit more complicated first and then come down here as an A, B, C for the B wave, and because the rest of the market has to push up. Do you know what I mean? So we're sort of in wave 4 at the moment. We're counting up as 1 and 2, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay having this wave 3 here at this point. How far this comes back, I think with this here, actually, I think that I think we'll just get out at this point, because I don't know how far this wave 4 is going to pull back. It might not be too much at all, but I think we'll just take that off there. We didn't really get to the 900, but we'll take that and say thank you. Google. So we've got 5 waves down here for Google, and now we've got 3 waves up here for Google. So we're going to get another 5 waves down here. So we'll put it in the Apple bucket of the 1s and 2s to the upside. And I've had this as 5 waves before, so I'm going to shove it in there as 5 waves and look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It could get a bit more complicated, and I could probably look at the whole thing up here as a larger B wave as well. I get it. But it doesn't really matter at this point, because what we'll do is that if we get, 5 waves down here, then all I'll do is that after the 5 waves, we'll just wait for the first little impulse wave to move to the upside. And when we're at this point, we'll just see where the rest of the market is at this point, and then we can look to go long from that point. But yeah, we only got 3 waves up there, so 1,000 ticks. I think we were looking at this on 10 ticks. Just let me, yeah. It was my fault. I had this as wave 1 and 2 in here, but we just didn't get it, and now we've got this move down here. So we've got to look at this as sort of wave 1 here and a wave 2 coming back up here, I think. So we don't end up with 5 waves here. I can't see it anyway. If I see something, if you see something that I'm not seeing, then please put it in the chat lounge. It's not that I'm right, you know, nobody's right all the time. But we've got some good Elliott wave people with us. Not some, we do have a great team actually. Yeah, so we're very lucky on that, and it's when I've got problems, you know, if I can't figure something out, I just ask the team, what do you reckon? And we end up finding answers for it. So you can do the same in the chat lounge as well. So yeah, I think we've got some sort of corrective pattern here. Yeah, so we'll just leave Google. We're just going to wait for after the earnings from the other market. So now we've got 5 waves down here for Microsoft. So we'll have to look at this as a move up and then a move down here for this, put it into the Apple basket. But yeah, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. Could probably put this over here on that spike, but you know, don't like spikes that much. So we'll see some sort of rally that will play out here for this, and then we'll come down. And I'm not going to short it into a larger number as well. It's not going to give us much sort of space. We've got this support over here, so it's all, you know, there's nothing but support over here for all of this. So it's going to get messy in here for Microsoft, but on track. And then we come over to Tesla, and we've got this as wave 3 and 4 here, as you know, and we're looking to go up to wave 5 here of 3. It could go up higher, I'm not quite sure. I had this as wave 1 over here, and looking at this as wave 2 here. It's still possible. I'm not sure the best way to look at this either. As 1 and 2 here is okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the third wave. Looks like we've got an ABC pattern here for this. Doesn't look like 5 waves. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a bit of a B wave here. So maybe a C wave to come in here, or sort of thinking, you know, in some way or another. So maybe some move here, then this here up with the other stocks, just making a new high here, and then coming down, you know, back down again, because we've got this wave 4 to play out here as well. So yeah, I don't think this will get a little bit complicated in here as well. So look, I could be wrong, and it could reach the 400. We'll just see how this pushes. But once it made a new high here, see how you go in counting this in 5 waves. I mean, I had a look on TradingView, you know, in the aftermarket and all the rest of it, and it is a little bit sort of messy in here, but it does sort of, even on the aftermarket and all the rest, I still see that it's still got 3 waves up here at this point. I don't see 5 waves there yet, but when you see a nice gap like that, it's kind of 3rd wave material. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and the 3rd of the 3rd here, you know, sort of makes sense having this as wave 4 here, but it's such a big wave 4 compared to wave 2 here, so there's not a lot that's making sense here. The only other thing that I could kind of think of that would be, you know, would be putting this wave 4 over here somewhere and having all this up here, some sort of B wave up here, you know. We still have to go higher, so you can stay long. It's just it could get a little bit messy in that regard, you know. Okay, so nothing really happening there, and we come over to Bitcoin, and we've got a nice classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern. And it's not the best looking wave one up here. Like I mentioned before, we could view this as a, as a triangle pattern coming into play over here for this, but I need this wave 3 to be over here, which I can do. So this would be the A, B, C, D, and E over here. That kind of works. There's different ways to sort of look at it. But yeah, once again, we're making new highs again today. So I was sort of thinking 3, some sort of wave 4 here and wave 5 to go up here, something of that. Markets like to get to large numbers, and then, they take profit there and those sort of things, and we'll have some sort of correction come back from that move. At the moment, really, in terms of trading levels from 90 to 100 here, we've got 1, 2, and 3, midpoint 5, and then group 2 here. So the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio. And we're sitting on top of group 1, so it's tried to get up there, and it's the sort of first high above the level here. And it's basically trying to get support here. So once it gets support on this number, then it's tested support on 93 on the number 3. Then it's leaving this number, and it's going to be pulled to this number, the 5. So yeah, and you can expect something. It's not going to be a straight line through here either. You can expect a classic trading levels pattern in here. So this would be the arrival, this would be the reaction, this would be the first high above the level, then an ABC pattern here. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it should be working along nicely here for that. Yeah, so all good for Bitcoin. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that, and let's pick it up tomorrow and see what happens with NVIDIA. Alrighty, cheers.